sisters. I'm trying to do a Facebook. It's not good for them. This subject is only good for the domestic violence month, and it is also breast cancer who are going through. Let me start out by telling you that I am a survivor. I decided that I was not a worthy person. So the day that he finally shot me, he traded in two guns that he had made, and he got a box of hollow point bullets. I don't know. Well, I do know how he found out where I was because if you're in the situation, you have to have a plan. This man was so evil and so spiteful, and I hope he sees this because to me, he was not able to take me out. But I had the good sense to make a plan after being with him for 11 years. I'm not going to get better. Let me tell you, when you see this, be it man or woman, because I have worked in programs. When the police came, your husband would talk like that, and somehow it became the. And even now, we need to do something about the laws. I had with me 6 copies of a restriction. They told me that I had to have a copy with me at all times. And I sent my children with my mother. But the mistake was a problem. She happened to be the one that was in the car with me the day he finally shot me. So I had to go get her. And I tell you, when you are sick and tired, you will find when that sick is the one that won all the battles. After a while, it gets old. You don't want to fight anymore. You let people know, even in this time of upheaval and turmoil. If you read the book of Revelation, you're going to find that the horse has been loose and that all of these viruses and plagues that we're getting now, and it's going to get worse. It won't get any better. Believe me, God's word is amen and amen. But I want to tell you, uh, I got my daughter and I got me an apartment. I left house sick and tired. You will leave with the clothes on your back. Let me tell you, my sisters and my brothers will be. Hear me very plainly, clearly. It will not get any better. It will get worse, and eventually, I know that there are women and men out there. I left with the clothes on my back, and we had a lot of things that we had accumulated together, of being beaten, being called everything but a child of God. When you look in the mirror, you think your name is the word for a loose dog. It's what you're called every time you're in his presence. These meetings over 11 years got worse. I have been shot 6 times. When I go for my mammogram, I always tell the person that take me from behind the little counter, and I say to them, I've got bullet fragments in my left breast, so don't get excited. I've had mammograms because they didn't actually bullet wounds, and they decided I needed a mammogram. Well, it never hurts to be uh, cautious. So I go to the mammogram that I left. In my house, the guns were coming out every day in the street, all the time in the street. No reason for it because I and a fourth child that came to visit me that belonged to someone else, but I treated her like I'm today. So there was hope, but I want you to know that when these things happen, don't be ashamed to talk about it. It's not, that's doing it to you, and he has caused your ego to be so small that you really at some point begin to think, if I could just do it right. Maybe serving you notice that he's going to beat you no matter what is his nature. Men, I can give you biblical scriptures and women that are beating the men, doing it to you. Men, you are supposed to protect us. You're not supposed to hurt us. Yes, we're strong because we have to be. There's no woman I know that wants to wear the pants and the dress. We want to know that if someone knocks on that door at 4:30 in the morning, you just say, baby, he has our back, not the person that's scaring us down. When he called me these names, I began to think that that was what I was. No matter what I put on, if you had the same thing on, criticism in me. Everything I did was criticism. And whenever we went around his people, the first time I met his mom in North Carolina, she lived in a big country house. And the country house, and I didn't move fast enough for something he asked me. We had just gotten there that morning and I was fixing breakfast for two of our children. Because I did not move fast enough, the man today in a tobacco field. His mom never came out to say, are you okay? First time I met her, there was one woman in the family, because they thought that she was the worst of the lot, that she was the best. She came to see a person who's going to tell you you can make it. I know I'm a strong woman. I came out of a cotton field. So I'm not afraid of hard work. I'll work 16 my children. Thank God I'm retired now. And because I put in so much, I can live comfortably. But back to the domestic violence. If you that you hurt them by staying. In my case, I should have gotten counseling. For the oldest was 12 years old, and every time the guns came out, her little arms were out saying, don't shoot mama. Daddy, don't shoot mama. Please don't shoot mama. Can you imagine? He never violated them or beat them. He was good to them. I caught the raft, but I came to know later on that his day. He'd been out all weekend and he came home that Monday night as I was prepared to my car. I'm going to be okay. When I got to the car, I was so not me. And when they came back, they told me if they had a book, they were there. They talked to him and he told them that I was angry because he'd been out, that I threatened him. You see, the law protects men. Let me in the county jail as a nurse. There were women who came in that had documentation of domestic abuse. And I think that is wrong. You all need to do something about the laws. Go to your country to live a great life without being threatened and without violence. That's your right. As I got off work and I went out and I found me a sick and tired of being sick and tired. You'll think about it and you'll make a change. I decided he can have it. I left my clothes. I left my nice furniture. I left the money and the checks. I told you I left it all, even my motorcycle that I loved. It was not worth it. I was beginning to have dreams because the guns were coming out so often. Clock my time card in the timer, clocking out to go home. In the back of my head, and he dragged me down the stairs. The security guard was too afraid to say anything because of his actions. He got me in the car and he put the pistol in my to kill me. He left me with 22 stitches in my head that I still have to this day. I got scars all over my body from what this man has done. At that time on I-95, you could go at least 75. I did not care if I died. I was not going to let him shoot me that day. It was so remembered to this day how I got to the hospital that I worked in. All I remember is that they were stitching my head up. I got away, but every time I left, I mean, to my relatives or someone would tell me. So I want you to have a plan and tell no one. When you're ready to depart, you need a place to go. You must be willing to leave it all for your sanity to do what we can do ourselves. You must be willing to sacrifice it all if you're entitled. Uh, that's not all that he did. I've been cut up, as I said before, but the day that he finally shot to have dreams about it, and he found me through the school board. I got out one night to go to work, and he was standing in my doorway. God allowed me to have favor with the supervisor, the side door. When he realized I was not there, once again, he showed up on my doorstep, back in his pants, and let me see if he had a gun. He didn't, but he'd been drinking heavily. And when he came in my apartment, he began to ask me, it was straight to answer them. By that time, I'd gotten a divorce attorney who already had the papers in motion. I knew that he was going to get them. I'm leaving before he kills me. When God shows you that your life is in danger, fix your bags, put a change of clothes in there for them, and go right then. This man borrowed money from me that night. I'd do anything to get rid of it. And he had no idea that he'd already been served. Uh, that I borrowed. The daughter that always got there, leave her there. And I left her there. She was a little over 12 years old. I left her there. I put them back. He told me to come to a place where we had a friend. And I said to him, why didn't you warn me? He said he said it so I did not see this coming this day. I had my gun under the seat. I always kept it because I knew he eventually was going to carry it. But this particular day, he went down the street to the little store, and when he came back, I thought he went to get my money. I really did. I had so I had the windows almost cracked this far. When he came back, I rolled it down an inch or two more. And he said to me, are you coming home? He said to me, you've got your final warning. And I said to him real snappy, you got your final answer. The next thing I know, that he shot hit me in my pelvic area and it traveled up. I told you before, he traded in 2 guns, some 38 hollow point bullets. He intended to kill me that day. But God, there is a God, and if you don't believe one, get a near this. And I decree and declare that. Been there, done there. The next bullet he did, he shot me in the side. When he shot me in the side, I put my hand over there and he shot another left breast. When he shot me in my left breast, I leaned over the steering wheel and he shot me 2 more times. They thought that I was going to, oh God, they thought that I was dead. And he said, you better get here because the kids are in the car and he's shooting up the car. That day on killing me, and he could have killed one of them. As it stood, my daughter was hit by a lot of glass that shattered. But as I leaned over the steering wheel and I was going out, I told her, go in the house and get some help. Your dad has shot me. When I saw her open the door, she fell out. And then my thought was, I don't know why our young men are out here killing one another, because that's a sitter. Bullets burned back over the steering. My thought was, my God, he's going back. It was my 9-year-old that told them exactly what happened. By the time the ambulance got here, that I just fell out. Uh, the paramedics began to work and they pronounced the DOA, dead on arrival. My mother says that they pulled the sheet over my head. One of the paramedics was on the microphone calling the hospital saying they were bringing in a DOA. And the other did not know. They did not know that I was talking to the Most High God. I don't know what he looks like, but I'm telling you people, he's real around you. I love that you cannot explain. And you're talking to him as your life is flashing before you. I had a choice. I could, and they need me. I just want to live long enough to see them grow. And I'll sing it from a mountaintop. People are doubting is no higher supreme being. But let me tell you that there is. And you're not going to meet him when man says you're dead. Your spirit will connect with him and your life will flash before you. You better know that he's real this morning. When you look around, the bullet that went here collapsed both of my lungs. Is even breathing because the blood filled up the cavity. When he shot me in the abdomen, the stool went everywhere. When they got there, and my mom says, under the sheet, I took up. They didn't expect to work again. When I got in the ambulance, the thing I remember is one police was asking me, who did this, your boyfriend or your mate or your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. If there are signs of abuse, run for the hills. Get some help. Go down to the women in the show has me covered. I'm on a mission. And I'm telling women, there's no shame. And I don't want you to feel that there's something wrong with you. There isn't. But I get some help, professional. Don't let your church members tell you, oh, no, you're a child of God. It'll be all right. I came from Tennessee, and so after he'd done all this damage to me, I told her, well, you stay with me, Marion, because I want you to get you. You have this particular time, 1973, my interview and New Year. I told him New Year's night, I'm going to school. I didn't care what he did to me then. I was going to school because I determined to make that possible. And I told him over and over again, this is not just for me, this will benefit the family. He said to me on several occasions, oh no, you're going to think you're. Why do people feel that if you're bettering yourself, it does something to them? I don't understand that logic. I don't understand it. But I do, because in the end, if you get the courage and the power to pack up and leave, you're going to need it. And I left one time and moved to another city. And I did not know how he found me. I walked out of the lady's house that I rented a little store. And when I walked out of the house, he was there. I had a best friend who told him everything I was doing. But I want you to know, keep it to yourself. Move in silence. My dad always told me person knows is no longer a secret. I need you to be prepared. Get that restraining order. I don't doing too. So you will have proof. But the paper doesn't stop rules. I told him that he was at my house and I was getting a divorce. My lawyer's the one that got the restraining order. My divorce went from $1,500 back in that time. And my attorney was afraid after I got shot. He was afraid that My ex-husband gotten out on bail after they found out I was going to live. And he wanted to wait until the man was sent to prison. Let me tell you, it took me a month in ICU to recover. One solid month on respirator. That I was in a coma and knew nothing. When I got off the respirator, I had no hate in my heart for my ex-husband. I was just glad and grateful to be alive, and I didn't hate him. So my mother, if you know how to pray, I suggest you do it. His name was Doc. He did not think that I was alive to hear him. So my mom, we did the best that we could do for her, but she's not going to make it through the night. Not die. The next day, came up with another death sentence. Said when it was all in her stomach and septicemia is going to come. I said to myself, why is he saying that? God said I shall live and not die. And I wasn't going to, I heard because God had said it. I stood on it and I believed it. And I say to you, if God speaks to you, and he will, do what he takes strength and determination. But when you get sick and tired of being beaten their ego. The problem is they want you to take on their ego. They're feeling low about you. How is that? We were created to be helpmates, not to be beaten and abused. I want you to leave. Leave with the clothes on your back. When the doctor said that, well, she made it, but pneumonia is going to kill her. Both lungs are collapsed. We don't understand how she was even able to take a breath. There was so much blood in the cavity up and down when you breathe. They didn't understand. See, God can do miracles. When you think you've come to the end, word is able. Any of you out there who's listening to me, you need to get on account on a bullets can do what they're supposed to do. Everybody that knows anything about bullets, you know that when back that they could not remove. I don't care what anyone says. When God says move, you're going to that you serve is able, and you do it. I spent almost guards on the door. Now they want to do. He swore that he was coming back to finish the job. Once a person hurts you like that, they will do any and everything to you. But you believe that you can change them. You cannot change a person unless they're willing. This man had such a manipulating spirit that when he would beat me, he actually went. And at that time, they would put dye in your neck, get some sympathy. And I thought that the man was okay. There was nothing wrong with him. He was evil. He was evil. Tell you what I did, trying to be a good Samaritan. I got down to 89 pounds. I could not eat while I was in the hospital. I had a colostomy. And any of you know what a colostomy your side, they brought your bowels on the outside, and that's where you have your bowel movement set. You're not in control. Legs on the floor. When they told me it was temporary and they were going to close it up, and I went to him and he says, okay, we're going to do the surgery now. 2 weeks, bowels, no sound, Detroit. And got to do this because I turned my face to the wall. I said to God, I don't want to live with this colostomy. I'm too young for that. I don't want to live with it. Just let me die. And I said, all right. I had a friend who came in and they worked all night and they allowed them to come in late at night when he so we could kind of connect on that. He knew what I was going through. He was the friend where I was shot at that my husband told me. As I said, I nursed him through. At any rate, he would come in late at night. They let him in, and he would get me out of bed, smelling and all. I looked terrible. The eye in the hospital. He did do it 4 or 5 times, and then he said, "Okay, I want you to go by yourself." He encouraged me, and she encouraged me. And I remember that I told me I'll sing it from a mountaintop. I'll tell people that you're real. People, he's real. He's real, I tell you. At any rate, I was never so elated in my life to have a bowel movement, because then I ran and told my mother, "Look, look, 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 look." I was so happy. Tore all of my abdomen out. When he shot me in the side, he ripped all of this, and then he shot me here. And then was in the back. So close to my spine, they thought I would never walk again. But God is good all the time. Yes, he is. They closed the colostomy. Began to see I could do better. God, I've got these 3 children. Tell me I'll never work again. I've never been on welfare, never received a food stamp, never received, had my mother's phone number. He would call my house while I was recovering. He said something about my mother's birthday, and it frightened her. Shows you signs before you get together. Please, I don't care how lonely you are. He talked to me, the man that shot me. You have children with people and you've been with them. I went to the judge, me, and asked them to be lenient. Well, it's in my back, 89 pounds of colostomy today, and I'm going to the judge. They got him for attempted murder. That's why I had the guards on the door. Me trying. And let me tell you, women, here's the problem I have with you. Whatever happens between Bob, don't talk down to that person in front of those children. They begin to hate you. What you do is keep your mouth closed, because eventually they will piece it together for themselves, and they will be away from him and the children to come see him. 89 pounds, going to see this man that has torn all of my inside, tried to kill me. Got stuck. Let myself be humiliated. They searched me all over, searched the kids. I didn't see them. At any rate, they were going to give him 25 to life. I didn't even have, I took the stand and I told them what he'd done to me. And you can't, you got to go to the kids section just to dress, and then you don't feel that it showed. They could see very clearly that I was still here. So the judge, I said the name, didn't say his first name, Mrs. Burns. This is no longer between you and me. Why he said that. As I said, I did not drag my children into it. I had made, some years went by, and let me tell you another thing that God does for me. About a year, maybe a year and a half, um, somebody told me about food stamps. I went down there and applied. I had a little money in the bank that wouldn't get into it. So that when my resources were depleted, I said, God, I've got these 3 little children. I've got to go to work, raise me up. My children were accustomed to live. As I said, my resources were already depleted. One thing I'll give my ex-husband credit for. He and his girlfriend was in my house answering the phone. My house looked like a house of crack when I left. God raised me up so that I began working for a nursing agency. I began to work double shifts, and I was thanking God for it. I was in a neighborhood at that time. There was 2 black families. I'm sorry, 3, because one lived behind me, and a web next door. They eventually moved, so that just left me right there, basically the only black person on the street. All right. She and I would talk over the fence. My kids on the swing set, her kids in the pool. I knew where she knew what hospital I was working in. We exchanged notes. I told her I was working at night. I'd gotten afraid, didn't have any bars on the window, but I had to work. I was working 3, sometimes 12-year-old daughter. I leave the clothes out. She got everybody dressed. There was no bus. They had to walk 2 miles to school. She made sure everyone got what they needed, got dressed, and she became my helpmate. Thank God for her. Thank God for her, because I don't know if I could have made it. Sometimes we think that we're the strongest, but our children, as I said, one good thing my ex-husband did during that time, your statements came in the mail to do. I was down to about 30 something dollars. And I called the bank to see exactly how much I had in there. They gave me a balance that I knew. So I called them again. And I kept checking the balance. I thought, well, maybe someone put some money in my account that I don't know about. When the statement came, I saw the handwriting. But my children, I thought that they were okay. And I was happy about it. Her husband was a Ku Klux man. She told me, she said, stop talking to her to help me and him. That night, I told her to because I got to work. About 4:30 in the morning, I got a call. It was an emergency. They came to ICU and told me about the call. Let it come through. Wife said, I was walking my dog and I thought I saw something around your house. That man, when you turn it over to God, He'll make it all right. Got to the point where just thank God that I remarried when he was married. I always said, I wish I had a husband like that. He was so attentive to her when he talked, and I wanted that man. So I knew his character. He asked me to go out on a date, 89 pounds. I I said okay, but I never gave him a phone number, never told him to be interested. My psychic and my ego was so low. I thought that I was everything my ex said I wasn't, that no one would ever. The devil is the address. You give me a telephone number. I came in, I was going to take you to the classic. You said you, and I thought to me, I weigh 89 pounds and I'm looking a hot mess. My legs look like olive oil. What could he see in me? He saw. We often wondered why my husband would do things to me. Anyway, the next day we went on. He said, I think we might be. I went out New Year's night. I'm not a drinker, but I used to love to dance. And they danced in the hotel. I think we slow dragged a couple of times. I basically just sat there. And my baby sister got up and danced. So at that point, he and I started looking at. We got married. He asked me to marry him. And I couldn't believe it because I was told that no one would ever want me. I was so ugly. I had nothing to offer. Beat me down. And I really, really believe that. Someone is telling me that today. Know yourself. Get you a journal and begin to journal because you need the time that I could trust with my issues. In church, 9 years old here, I didn't care to bother. I don't know. But women in God's house. It is in the church. It is all over the world. Have some things to put on the ballot. We need to write in and tell them we need these laws. Training orders. Noting that this man was beaten, she shot the gun in the air. They tried to give people got for myself. I need you to tell your congressman and say when a woman defends herself, why didn't she just job? They show up when you're going to work. Come in your place, embarrassed. one. They know how to find you. I told you. I had these restraining orders and did me absolutely no good. I told the school when they did. They did. So you really have no place to go. I never wanted to be the one to cause his injury. But I want you to know he left the house running many times too. I didn't lose all of that. He lost. And I love you. He'll whisper in your ear, baby, I love you. I don't know why I did it. Get yourself 2 Winn-Dixie bags. Sometimes we talk too much. You want to tell a man, I'm going to leave him. You're going to leave. Now you're starting another fight. What you do is do it in secret. Do like we always do after the news. Get up, clean up, and happen. But you get a plan to escape. Say to you, I'm going to kill you. Believe them the first time they say it. They mean it. Don't wait for it to happen like I change. He's going to get better. I can change him. You cannot change a person unless they're willing to change. Don't think you're so strong. If I'd done this, maybe that wouldn't happen. And even after he shot me, I'm a pastor, but I did not know when you bury these things. I was patting myself on the back saying, I'm a survivor. I made it. I made it. But I forgot. When you're so busy taking care of the children, mind finally settles down. The mind will say to you, it's time to deal with this. And you will find yourself to deal. I did not notice it. My husband said to me, Hope, there's something wrong with you. I didn't know. I thought I was functioning. But my mind was saying, you're still nothing. This happened to you. You are the person that should deal with this. Why did you let it happen? It was my fault that this happened to me. I had to go in behind locked doors. When those doors clicked, I looked around and I saw people that were really crazy. Went in that little room and I went to myself, and the roommate that was with me was one that had walked the floor. We have a problem. Then my doctor said, you need to go. I was in there and thought I was better. It was 10 years later that it happened. It was this time. This time, get up. There's nothing wrong with you. Get up. When my husband came to pick me up, I was a new creature. God reminded me of my mission. If you are a survivor, there is a mission. You'll need to go out and tell other men and women. If someone is beating you, you can get out. There's a way out. Don't take it. You're you. Don't stay for any other reason, not the children, not because you think you can change them, not because it's about you, but you better run. Get some. I am 71 years old now, and I thank God for every day. Have issues all the time. Every couple of years, in and out of the hospital. My bowels will lock up on growing up, and I can't stop. It's just violent everywhere I go. No last for a few hours with a few sweating, and go in and they do what they call license of it. And they're going to have to do a colostomy. My mind is saying that. I knew I didn't want that. God said, you're going to be all right. Anytime, for any reason, I just had surgery done on my neck. Told you those 2 bullets were still there. I had 5 discs in my back, and they were pressing on a nerve, and I fallen off my neck. The scary part was I could not move my left side of my body. I just couldn't do it. I wanted to drink water, couldn't figure out how to get it. But I had some nerve damage. Had 5 disc removals, I said, and I had a laminectomy done on my lower back. That was because I had herniated discs in my nerves, and there's nothing they can do. You will never get over your roots. It will be with you, but it's part of your journey. You can live past one, you can get over it, because I suffer. I have post-traumatic stress. There are occasions when I'm sleeping, my husband has to wake me up. He's a Vietnam vet, and he has the same thing. So when he's shooting people, one time he grabbed me by my throat. I had to jump out of the bed. He thought I was the enemy. There are times when I'm screaming and yelling in the bed, and he has to wake me up and tell me, "Hope, nightmare again. Help. Don't be ashamed." I don't care who tries to put stigmatism on it. You go get help. Deal with this issue. It is not going away. Tell your story. Let people know that you made it. That share this video. I want you to like it, because there's someone out there to survive my video. It's telling me I need to reconnect. Satan is different to go through. I don't know how it's going to look, a connection being weak. There are parts of this story that you tell someone. I thank God that when I worked shifts, the night shifts, the evening shift, the double shifts that I had now, he always tells me who I am. This thing is that I have to wait for my connection. Satan doesn't want this broadcast to go forward. Now, with the peace of God, I leave you. I'm going to do Q&A on Facebook and YouTube. If you have any questions about surviving, how I did it, what I did, I pretty much told you, but I want you to tune in, and the persons that you can talk to, we're concerned about you. So don't be ashamed. Don't stay alone. Get some help, but most of all, get out. To know, even at 71, take a look. At 71, still tried to take me out, but I'm yet here. Remember, your enemies can never do you any harm. God will never let a weapon go. The hair on your head, and all you need to do is call him. No respected person. If he did it for me, I decree and declare by faith, he'll get out and depend on him to do this in your life. Pastor Seal Smith signing off again. We're going to have that they are going to make it. Don't forget to like and share. And I pray that the Spirit of God will cover them, turn around. We're going to get those plagues from Revelations. We got to go back. This country was built on God, and we need to go back. We need to pray, and above all, say a no vote is a silent vote, and it's good for the opponent. Go out and vote, but we're going to have some trials and tribulations before we get there. Do not play with this virus. It is a hoax. Don't believe the hype. If someone has coronavirus and they're out for a couple of days and giving press conferences, they're not short of breath. I'm blessed. Remember, Pastor Smith, I just said, you can make it if you try. I didn't like you. Like and share, like and share, people. Like and share. not know that my God bless you. I don't know how much of this went out. I did not realize that my phone had fallen down. I can share this video. I thought that I had done it before. I guess Satan doesn't want this to go out, but I'm going to say it anyway. This is domestic violence survivor month or domestic violence because it still exists even in the churches. I am a survivor. I don't know if my leader said that before. I'm a pastor. I survived being pistol whipped, shot up, beat down, you name it, I got it. And the final blow was the 638 Holocaust. Still had fragments right under my left breast. The doctor called that the magic bullet. They had no medical reason why it did not do my heart out of my body. When I go for a mammogram, I have these people, I tell them, the technician, do not get alarmed when you see the metal fragments. I explain to them about the gunshot. As soon as I see them running, I know. And I'm one of these people, find it, fix it, and forget it, so I do it. But the doctors are always telling the nurse when they're doing the biopsy, look, to family members who are in a domestic violence situation. Let them do not sit around and think like most women, oh, I can change. I can do better. I'm going to tell you, if you see one sign of domestic violence, start out in the beginning with a slap you. Then see, oh, maybe I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Shower you with all 7 years of that. Said, been cut up, all kinds of things in my head where I've been just been cut up on my legs. Uh, actually, been shot 6 times, 38 hollow point bullets, yet I'm still here. I tell you, these people, they get their ego boosted by tearing you down. And there's nothing you can do to change it. This is in there. Any genuine help is going to do. I want women that are in the situation to and keep it to yourself. That always knows is no longer a secret. I finally left him on New Year's night. He'd been out all weekend and he came home. And when he came home, he began to beat me. Told me he was going to kill me. Took his gun out. When I saw the guns that were coming out frequently, I'm going to kill you. But I thought women, you marry, you stay there, you make better for worse. As a matter of fact, I'm remarried now, but my that I was committed. So we married, and my ex-husband was still alive. I told her, "You stay with me. He's not going to beat me. This man set me up, and you think I'm going to stay in a situation. He will tell you you're nobody, you're ugly, you're black, you're this, you're that. No one will ever want you to live with them. But when you live with them, when you your mind that you've had enough, do like I did. I left the cycle that I loved you. I left with the clothes on my back. Was what? You told me I was nothing and nobody, and I believed you along the way. At any rate, when I took one of my daughters out of school, release my address because my husband is violent. This man looked in my face. I almost fainted. I'd already started divorce. By the time I got home, he realized I was gone. He met me there. I was debating in my mind whether to open the door and let him in when he come. I don't want you. You have become an object that they can use. You can. You can. That particular day, he went. And rather than a friend called me, he thought he was just talking like he usually went to the pawn shop, a gun shop. I don't know which one. The car. He turned into one and bought a brand new clothes. They leave metal fragments all over you. They make a lot of them. I could show you, and even one bullet creased the thigh, and it went down my pelvic area, turned around, and then all the one under my left breast. They said was the bullet that was a mystery. Didn't understand why it didn't blow my heart out of my back, but God, when the paramedics came and when the police arrived, they thought I was dead, but I was talking to the Most High God. Let me tell you, God is real. We had a talk, and I said to him, God, my life did flash before me. It was like a movie, a big movie. God, I just want to live long enough to take care of my children. I could go to this beautiful place, nothing but love, or I could come. When I pull out the gun, she stretch her arms and say, Daddy, if you shoot mommy, you're gonna have to kill me. Don't believe you're saying with these people, you're hurting them. You're hurting them. When they see that, I said he never abused them physically, but their minds were abused. They're all professionals, but I should have taken them for counseling. And your children are exposed to this. You're not helping them. You're doing it because you think you can fix it. You cannot. Run for your life. To put the things back in the ambulance. And the other was calling in a deal or a deal in your wife. When we got to the hospital, or let me go back, the police were there, and when they got in the ambulance, and who did this, and said my husband. My 9-year-old daughter, who was sitting beside me at the time, and my 4-year-old was standing behind me. I thought that he was shot then because the car near the first bullet burned. I knew when I looked at him, this was the day he was going to see, but I could not reach him. I couldn't start the car because he was leaning in the window. That car lit up, and I remember when the first bullet it landed in my pelvic region, but it traveled up, ended up with all of my insides because he tore the diaphragm on loose from the abdomen. But God, they did not know that I'd be all right. I didn't care what they said. I knew God had it because he told me I was going to live and not die. I said to him, if you let me live, I'll sing no. You're real. It took me about 10 years to finally accept the call, but I did not forget my promise. Everywhere I went, some people stepping on time. People are telling you there's no God. That when we leave, He's telling you a lie. So let me get back to domestic violence. When we got to the hospital, it was a hospital that I worked in. And I heard them say, "Oh my God, it's Captain." Oh, his name was Dr. Gunn. My mom came in the emergency room. She thought I was already dead. And the nurse said to her, her name was Kathy as well. She said, "Do you want to go?" I said, "I think she wants you to." My mom came in. She looked at me with one big tear. "I'm going to be all right." Both lungs were ruptured. By the time I got to the hospital, I could not breathe. There is no medical reason. Both lungs collapsed, fluid in the lungs. God gave everything to feel. Trust Him. Don't take what the coming on time. When I got to the emergency room, I heard him say, "Oh my God, it's Kathy, it's Kathy." I'd been there before because, as I said, a situation that I was living in. I was afraid to do anything to him because at that time, there was no shelters, there was no help. And when they came, they took the man's side. And if the woman, a man can kill a woman in 7 years. If a woman takes it upon herself to defend herself, she's looking at 14 to 20. Get a restraining order every time he does it. And now we have a plan. Keep it to yourself. Tell your mother. I stayed in the hospital about 4 months. And they thought I was in a coma and that I did not hear. That taught me don't talk about my patients in ICU when I got home to go. Because hearing is the last thing to go. I said, "I don't know why you said that," because God said I'm going to live and not die. I trust God's word. I never take the word of any doctor, any man. If God said it, I believed it. I prayed. He said to her, "She's not going to make it through the night. Don't get excited." Took me to ICU. I stitched tubes and on a respirator tube down my throat, but I didn't wake up. And I told Dr. Gunn, ironically, every death sentence he said. I said to him, "Why?" Told my mom, "You left the 2 bullets in the back because there was so much damage to the front. You had to get me out of there, and it was so close to the spine that you were here that I would never walk again. So you left the two." Told her I wouldn't make it through the night. Told her that septicemia was going to take me out because my abdomen had filled up with all kinds of fecal matter and fluid, and that attached to me for over a year. Thank God for faith. Thank God for me. This man shot me. Bullet fragments everywhere. Please tell them, and if it's you, tell them to get work. Sometimes women, we talk to them. Never tell a man that he's coming back. That was the most dangerous time. It's coming back. That is the time that you must be. There he was. They will hunt you down. You cannot work here because they'll shoot you. Do not do it. Run for your life. As they say, when someone tells you, shows you who they are, believe them, they'll hesitate. Started out with a little pat here. That's the way relationships never know anything else. Okay? He hit me, he must have been on the day getting ready to go to work. And he did not need an alarm clock because it gives you a vision. Jump on it, follow it, get out, get help. They will kill you. It does not get better. It is worse. You suffer. I had good children. Thank God I did. I really hate the fact that I never got to do professional counseling. At the time when I after they told me I had the colossus, And I'm going to close it up. My children gave me strength to get up and move on. I wish they had the courage to get up and leave 10 years ago. I left it all. Peace of mind and sanity means a lot. And I'm not going to tell you that I did not chasing those children when I left my mother's house and went home. He and his girlfriend had taken everything out my house. It got a crack house. They took the clothes, threw them on the floor, took. I don't understand how other women who come into your relationship hate you because they're seeing him. As a matter of fact, when I got out of the hospice, God talked me into going to the judge. When I got to the judge's street, thank God the judge had more sense to do the right thing. The judge said to me, Ms. Burns at the time, Ms. Burns, this is not the two children that were in the car. I passed out. I told my peripheral vision. I didn't know he was running to another house. As I leaned over the steering wheel, told him, you need to hurry up because there's kids in the car. He's just shooting everywhere. Didn't know that he ran into it later. But my daughter told the police who had done it. And as I said, I was able to get out his name. Women and men stay in that kind of relationship. It is not love. It is control and ego. I remarried. I, I was married for the year that he was going to get out. And believe me, women, I want to say this. This was another dumb thing I did. He put me down as a in prison and the children. In my mind, he had not abused his children, never seen his children. So my mindset said, at that time, basic strip search all over you before you could go in. I didn't send my children. I took never said anything against them, but people, let me tell you, your children have a mind. Don't you say anything negative about the other party because they'll think my son was 4 years old. He thought I was that was in jail. Thought that for a very long time. He went to school. He wanted to learn how to drive. Taught him how to drive. I said to him, listen, only jail. He only did 10 years. He was on probation. I never asked for child support because I felt like I could do it on my own. I didn't want him to do anything. I worked out. I introduced him to hamburger life and steak life. I wanted them to know there's two ways of children that were staying with me at the time. I took them as well. God said, suffer little children to come. My mom was doing whatever she did. They needed love, and I gave it to them. And that is why God has watched over me. I thought that I would never, ever. I met my husband now. I was weighed 89 pounds. I just got the colostomy done. They told me I had to make it permanent. I didn't think he whenever I didn't go, he'd tell me, well, you think you're better than everyone. Get to feel like everything are in a situation where this person is beating you one side. And though I had remarried, when I worked at the county jail, one day I got on the one that was living in my house, answering my door when I arrived. Well, we threw that to if she needs it, I know what she's married to. She could have it. And I told them, I explained to them what her ex-husband had done, and she got escorted out of jail that very day. I was in the drugstore. I speak. He never says a word. Please believe. They are greater is waiting, but you need to get out there and find it. Let's change so that the woman defends herself. And she's got all of these restraining orders, but the police told me they couldn't do anything with him because they need to see make it as fix him a nice dinner. Dixie bags and get out of feel debt hovering over you. That doesn't really show you a dream. See God as my sister was dreaming about it. I know he's gonna do it. And they told me I'd never work again. I tell you, in my first is work. First time you raised me up, I was working double shift, working for Raging Walk, about 2 miles to school every day. But he wants to do it to me. She had a clue. We used to talk about this. And she said, look, I'm gonna have to stop talking. I know she worked in a lawyer's office. She knew the hospital I worked in. We talked about our children and a good time. It's a complex case. Took my dog and I knew until I knew hey, the Ku Klux my God is good. When you trust him, he'll make a way out of nowhere. Nobody can make that. I know about the children. Please don't lives, even in churches. Share in life. I do it. So I need you to like and share this. Pass it on. Announcement the rest of guidance. Let them know that I do. Pastor C.O. Smith. I'm doing a Q&A on YouTube on Friday. Please tune in. If you have any questions, I am able to help you. I do work with women and sharing like this.